Hi Flosstube, this is Autumn, the Yellow Rose Stitcher. Welcome. Hope you're doing well. I'm finally back for a long overdue video. I missed October. October just sort of zoomed by. I think this is Flosstube number 9. I didn't think to look it up before starting to record. It's a little cloudy today, so hopefully the lighting will be okay when I show stuff. If you're new, welcome. I hope you enjoy what you see. I've had a little bit of an uptick in subscribers, which I think that has to do with the cross-stitch retreat I just got back from a couple of days ago. Today is the 19th of November, 2022. So, and if you're a returning subscriber, welcome. Glad you're back. And if you're new, I'm one of those, if you like lots of variety and not necessarily a lot of finishes, then this is the channel for you. Because I like to start things, although I do have 3 finishes today. So I do finish things once in a while. But October was busy. Never could get a chance to record a video. I'm very involved with the activities at my church, and we had a big women's event, which I was involved in, and some other stuff going on, so I never got a video made. And I didn't get, I got some stitching done, but trying to record my stitching in the calendar like other folks do, and I didn't do a very good job of recording. I don't know how well you can see that, but I did do some stitching. November, though, I've been much better about recording what I'm getting done, so trying to keep track of things so I can remember what to share with you so I don't repeat myself or forget something, which fair warning, I have a feeling I'm going to be a little bit all over the place today. I tried to film this and gather stuff all day yesterday and get this recording done, and just didn't happen. So I'm feeling a little everywhere. Let's see. So can't think. I just got back, a couple of days ago from being in Mexico, which I'll share about that here toward the end. So if you're not interested in that bit, and let's see. We'll jump into whips. So I only have, I think, only one whip, because I have a couple of new starts and some finishes. So we'll start with my whips. Like I said, another Flosstuber, Yanni. I'll link her below in the description box. She has videos both in Spanish and in English. And my parents moved to Mexico about 1.5 years ago. And when Yanni shared about her upcoming Mexican cross-stitch retreat, my mom and I thought it would be fun to go to that, even though neither one of us speaks Spanish. My mom speaks more than I do. As she says, she knows all the polite words. So we were a little nervous about going, but it turned out to be a lot of fun, and I'll try to share more about that here at the end. But this is what I worked on at the retreat, and my other stuff that I worked on are finishes, so I won't go over those in a second. Let's see. And I never say the name of this pattern right because it's in French, so I always butcher it. But I started it back in March of 2020, and Circles is the pattern by Ink Circles, and I am stitching mine on 32 count title by Picture This Plus, and this is the piece. And so I got very little stitching done at the cross stitch retreat, but I managed to finish off the bottom of this circle, add these 2 circles and this right here. So because the bulk of this was done when I went, and this is I have finished page 1 of the pattern. So I was starting page, what page is that page? I don't know that it matters. Because it's 3 pages across the top and 3 pages across the bottom. So this is page, that doesn't look right. So I went down, so I'm on page 4. So anyway, but not a whole lot done, but like we say, progress is progress. Very happy with it. I should probably just keep stitching on this. Oh, and the thread is from Silken Colors by Thread Gatherer. And I never can figure out, I love these silks, and I never really hear that many people share that they use them, but I really love them. But that's the silk floss, and the color is Elephants and Castles is the name of the color. So very happy with that. So really, that's my one and only whip. As to say, the plans that I had shared, things I had talked about doing at the in my September video, I don't think I did any of them. So that's how it goes sometimes. I make plans and then I squirrel and do other things. Let's see, get that in there. Okay. So finishes. Yay! 3 finishes. Well. Oh. I'm going to put this back in my card back in here so that doesn't get misplaced. Like I say, I'm going to be a little bit kind of scattered, I think, and all over the place, so I apologize ahead of time. So the other thing that I worked on and finished is Count Twice by Plum Street. There's the pattern, so we can get it without a glare. And I started this in May of 2021, and it is stitched on 36 count earthen by Picture This Plus with all of the called for threads, which are all classic color works for this one. And I apologize, I did not get this ironed. Oh, and it's more crinkled than I thought. So, see if I can do this without it being horrible. Let's Count Twice. So I turned out really, really cute. So now the challenge is, I had seen Julie, oops, sorry about that, from Reflections Framing and Stitching. She has a shop in Omaha, Nebraska, and a YouTube channel. She shared this piece that she had, her shop, she puts on cross stitch retreats, and she shared this back in 2021. It's a spool, and the top comes off. And her husband made this, and I had contacted her about wanting one, and her husband was going to be making a few more. So now I have to figure out, because I got the spool from her but no instructions, so I have to figure out how I'm going to finish it and put this around on the spool. So we'll see. I may have to, I may email her again and see if there's some instructions or something that she can share. So, because I'm not real sure. I mean, I've made my one drum. Oh, that's the other thing. If you're a returning subscriber, and I've been talking about this shelf for months and months. I finally got my husband to get it up and got some of my sewing paraphernalia, pin cushions and things up there. A lot of it came off of the top of a bookshelf that's across the room that's only got 2 shelves. The top of it had a lot of this stuff on it, which my 16-month-old granddaughter has gotten to the point where she could reach everything. So I had to get it up off the wall, off where she could reach to it. Because she was finding that very entertaining to get things off the top of the bookshelf. So, but wish me luck. We'll see how this goes and getting this finished. So yeah, I started it in May of 2021 and finished it November 11th, 2022. So that's finished number 2. Set that aside. And let's see. The other thing is, I can't remember if it was, I think it was September because I mentioned it in my September video. Kathy Haberman of Hands On Design. If you signed up for her newsletter in September, you got a free pattern, and it's called Plaid for Autumn. Oh, where did I put it? I don't have a, anyway, I stitched mine on 32 count barnwood. And again, this is another picture, this plus fabric. And all the called for threads were DMC. So that's my finish on that. So I want to make it into a pillow, I think. And I found this plaid in my stash. I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm not sure if this is what I want to use or not. It kind of goes, and it kind of doesn't. There's a hint of green in there, but it's a darker green, so I'm not sure. I may see what else I can find before and since, Thanksgiving is in, 7 days? No. 6 days. So it'll be time to get out Christmas stuff. So I don't know. I may wait till next year to get this fully finished. So I have time to look for another plaid. I would have thought, I have a lot of plaid in my stash, but nothing that really went. So I don't know if I'll find anything with these colors. They're kind of unusual. But it was an enjoyable quick stitch. So those are my 3 finishes since September. And, oh, no, sorry. That's only 2. My 3rd finish I don't have to show you, and I hadn't shown me working on it because it was a gift for my mom who watches the video, so I wanted it to be a surprise. So I had stitched another Hands On Design pattern, this small one here of the pattern from Let's Talk Stitching, and I made her the tote bag. And I did it like this with the stripes. And the pattern for the tote bag is the Stitch and Stow from Simply Stitches Fabric Shop. And I ordered a kit from them with the fabric to make it. But I got that done just in time to go to Mexico to see her and gave it to her. And I didn't get a recording of it before I left. So I'll insert a couple of pictures here of the finish. So that was my other finish. Thought it came out pretty cute. So that is my 3rd finish that I don't have to show you. We'll put a picture in. And it was, and the cross stitch was stitched on, where's my card? It was a limited edition fabric that I got from Color and Cotton, so it actually doesn't have a name. That's the leftovers I have of it. So that's what it was stitched on. And it's all DMC, I think. Yeah. And I used all the called for DMC to stitch it. So. And one last group of finishes that's not necessarily cross stitch, but cross stitch related is I got 7 project bags done for, there's this one, is it upside down? That one, and this one, and let's see, really like, so if you're new here, have a big birthday coming up next year, turning 50, and so I've decided to start 50 new things next year. I'll do one a week, except for the week of Thanksgiving and the week of Christmas. So I've got some project bags to make. Although my husband asked me after I made these how many I actually need, and I'm like, I don't know. And I've yet to have time to sit down and actually go through and see how many projects bags I need. Anyway, this one I really love. I made another one. I had enough of this to make another one for my mom. And I was trying a new thing with not sewing down the Velcro since it's adhesive. But Mom started using hers when we were together, and hers, one side came off. So I guess I'm going to have to go back and stitch these on. So I was hoping not to have to stitch them on because it's kind of a pain to stitch through that Velcro. This was one. So, and I've got a stack of 10 more over there to make. Oh, and this one too. That one I took with me to Mexico. So, plugging along, getting ready for my 50 new starts next year. Getting things organized. I did sit down 2 or 3 weeks ago and went through my calendar and decided and put in what I'm going to start each month. So I have a plan so that I can kind of spread out the spending on prepping up the projects and all of them need thread. I have fabric for everything. I just need thread and a few things I need beads on. But anyway, I've gone through and made my plan for each month. Although I'm going to have to, I reserve the right to switch things around or take something out, which I've already done one, which I'll share with you here in a moment. But anyway, I've got my plan made. Now I just need to go through them all and decide and count, should I say, how many project bags that I actually need to make. Make or buy, I should say. I've never bought a whole lot of project bags. I don't necessarily like making them myself, but I figure I'll save myself some money since I can do it. I'll do it rather than buy them. Well, that went fast. So that's my finishes and my whips, as I say, and not really going to make any plans for November and December, although I do want to get out and make my granddaughter a Christmas ornament, so I need to start that. And let's see, I guess I'll share about the Mexican retreat that I went to. Show you. I don't know how to say the first word. And ladies, if anybody that's watching speaks Spanish, I apologize. I'm sure I will not say things correctly and butcher things. So I apologize ahead of time if I butcher the language. Anyway, this was the shirt that we got from the retreat. Really cute. Encounter de Punta de Cruz. I did not learn Punta de Cruz is the word for cross stitch in Spanish. So, but my mom and I had an absolutely wonderful time. I say we were really nervous about going, and we knew that Yanni spoke English, and she said that her husband and daughters would be there to help over the retreat, and they spoke English. But we, not knowing if we would just be sitting at a table talking to each other, but it turned out really, really nice. Everybody was so warm and so welcoming, and there were quite a few people that spoke English, or enough that we could converse, and everybody was just really sweet. And as to say, Mom's definitely going to go back next year, I think. I'm going to try to go back next year. Depends. My husband reminded me that we'd already planned to go down to Christmas to see my parents. And the cross-stitch retreat next year will be like October or November. So I don't know if I can do 2 trips in 1 year. We'll have to work that out. But I have gotten my Rosetta Stone. I already had this, and it is the Latin American Spanish version. I homeschooled my 2 children, and we got this for doing home, but it didn't take off. We just barely scratched the surface. But I'm hoping to get into this and see how well I can do at learning Spanish. I took 1 year of German when I was in high school, so wish I had taken Spanish. So ladies, if there's anybody of you watching from the retreat, I'm gonna work on my Spanish, and we'll see how well I do. Let's see. This is where I think I may pause the video here a second. Let me rearrange things so I can show you what all we got in our goodie bag from the at the cross stitch retreat and some other things. So give me just a second. And she's back. So when we checked in, we got a big goodie bag at the cross stitch retreat. Really shocked at how much we got. And this, I'll start off with, there was this coffee mug in there, and it's, I've translated it using my Microsoft translator. So this first one here, I don't know how accurate the translation is, but they're all funny. Oh, I forgot to turn the page. It says, and you're going to finish all your embroidery and process. Oh, let's get a glare. And yes, and this one up here. And you're also going to start new projects? Well, yes. And this one. Because, let's see, 1, 2. Oh, I skipped one. The second one, and you're going to sit down to finish. And mine translated, my mom, when she translated it, said, well, no. But my translation said, not really. So I don't know which one's accurate. But then there was, because there is the cross-stitch police. Is this one here? Well, no. And the last one was, and all the setbacks and embroidery, they are perfect. Well, yes. We thought that was really cute. That's funny. So we got the coffee mug in our goodie bag. We got name tag. And let's see if I can slide this out without making a big mess. We got this lovely project bag, and our t-shirt was in here, and I like that it's got denim on the inside, which I've not seen, but I really like that thick. So a project bag, and I think, oh, and this was cool, a little book that you could go around the room and put in people's names and contact YouTube, because I think there was, I didn't count, I don't know, about 10, I think maybe, of other Flosstubers in Spanish. And the ones that I've got contact information, I didn't get everybody, I apologize, but those that I got, I'll try to link below. So if you speak Spanish and are interested in that, I'll link those below in the description box. But I thought this was nice, because I didn't think to bring my own little thing to have people fill out. It didn't occur to me. So to have this in the goodie bag, I thought was really nice. And then we got a little tote bag for this, and the retreat was in Morelia, which is in, I can hear it in my head, Michoacan, the state. So we got this little, oh, I can go to say it, and then when I go to say it to somebody, then I mess it up. Michoacan. I think there was a water bottle, and which I still need to wash mine so I can use it. There was a journal, just a lined journal, and then there's a tourism kind of map of the state and cities and things. So, and then we got an exclusive cross-stitch pattern and kit that Yanni designed, and she hand-dyed the fabric to make it. And this box is awesome. Woo! Hang on. I've got head stuff piled up on top of it. So this is the box that we got, and it doesn't really smell anymore. Not a bad smell. It reminds me of that wood that they make the pegboards out of, is what it reminds me of. But and that little logo, which is the same little girl that was on our t-shirt. So we got this cool box, and inside it's divided, and we got a cute little button to wear. There was a thing of thread wax. Sorry for the crinkling. A couple of skeins of DMC. No, one DMC, and people got different colors. My mom's colors were different than mine. And then this one that I'm not familiar with, it says Iris Rayon 100%. So I'm not familiar with that brand. Be interested to see if I can find something to stitch with it. The only other rayon thread I have, I think, is DMC, and it's for a Christmas nativity set that I have started to stitch, but I had never heard of this Iris brand before. I like the color. Then we got a corner gauge and a pair of scissors and a scissor fob to go with it. It's attached. And this cute little stand, and it has a hole for you to put the scissors in. So now that I've shown it, I can take the scissors out of the package. I learned my lesson. This is what the cross stitch kit was in. And I never got around to asking. I was too busy yakking or doing other things. There's this flat piece of board, and I don't know if this is for finishing the cross stitch on. Like I said, I forgot to ask, so I'll have to see how it fits when I finish the cross stitch. We'll see, and see if I can fit it on there. But I'm not really sure what the purpose of this was. So that was all in our goodie bag for the retreat. Let me put this stuff back together. Oops. Oh, and then and let me show you the cross stitch pattern. Let's set this down. And then I say it seemed like every few minutes somebody was walking around giving away freebies that they had made for everybody. And it's we'd asked Yanni, because this was her third cross stitch retreat that she's put on. And this was the largest one that she's had attendance in, and there was 100 ladies that were signed up to come. So I can't show you the pattern. See if I can. I'm going to insert. She had a finish of the cross stitch pattern that she had stitched up. Let's see if I can do this without showing. Anyway, I don't know how well that's going to show. That's the pattern for the retreat piece. Like I said, and I'll put a picture in here of it finished. And I believe that Yanni, she hand dyes her own fabric, and she hand dyed fabric for these. In a second, I got a thread attached here. And I've never, as to say, I tend to stitch on linen or even weave. But I mean, I've stitched on Aida, and like I said, I pretty much stitch on everything. But I tend to shy away from Aida just simply because I don't like the stiffness of it. But I've never stitched on a hand-dyed Aida. So stitching on this has changed my tune. I may have to, because it's so quick to stitch on Aida compared to linen and even weave. But this is so soft. I really like it. But that's what I managed to get done of the retreat piece. Got the little girl done and some of the border. And let's just say, I'm trying to, yeah, the fabric, I don't know how, It's somewhat accurate. It's kind of a yellowy green color. So I was able to stitch on. I didn't start this until the last day of the retreat, Sunday. So, and then after the retreat, because the retreat started at, we checked in at 3 on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday till, I think the retreat officially ended about 2, but Mom and I went back to our room at lunchtime. So, and then started this, and then I stitched on it. We had a few hours of a bus ride from Morelia to where my parents live in Chapala. And so I was able to stitch on the bus and stitched, stayed a few days with my parents before coming back home. And then I was able to stitch on it on the plane as well. So I'm going to see if I can get this finished before the end of the year. We'll see. I don't know, with wanting to stitch an ornament for my granddaughter, we'll have to see how much I may have to reprioritize and see what I can do. But in the fabric kit that was in the box, you also got this thread keep, I believe they're called, and she had a needle on there for us. So getting going on that, really enjoying it. Cute little pattern. Like I said, and every few minutes somebody was coming around and giving away gifts, and this was one of them, another little project pouch. And so that's what I've got my Punta de Cruz project is in here. So that was one of the gifts that I got, and I apologize if you were watching because there were so many ladies and didn't do a very good job of remembering names and so forth. So, but if you gave us something, thank you. Muchas gracias. Really appreciate it. And some of this stuff, I can't believe they made 100 of these things to give away. I mean, that's a lot of work. Like this one is a scissor holder, and it's actually got 3 pouches, one there, here, and there. So that was one of the gifts that I received. Somebody came around and had these little needle books that were made. So that one. Then there was this cute little ornament like. And so I say there's some of this stuff I haven't taken out of the plastic bag. So if you've got headphones on, there's crinkling. There's going to be crinkling. And I think this is a scissor fob. So it's that cute little with the sewing machine on the end and the spool. There's that. Somebody gave us a needle minder. And then another person, there was a Hershey Kiss, which I've managed not to eat yet. And then a thread that I'm not familiar with. I don't know if it's, I can't read what the label says. So I'm not sure. It almost feels like a pearl cotton, like a thin pearl cotton. So, but I'm not sure. But I love the color. Color's pretty. Let's see. Another scissor fob. And this one I like because it has a charm on it that says I love knitting, which is appropriate because I'm a knitter as well. Then there was this cute little ornament light because it's got a hanger on it. But look at the stitching. Straighten that up. I can't believe somebody made 100 of these. Mom and I were floored. Another gal came around, Janice. Janice was really, really sweet. She invited us Saturday evening. There was a bunch of the ladies that were leaving to go down to downtown Morelia, to the Morelia Cathedral, and they apparently do this every Saturday night. There's the lighting of the cathedral, and she invited Mom and I to go with her, and we really enjoyed it. And she had come around and handed these out. There's thread, and there's flavors of tea, and I don't know what the flavors are because I haven't put them into my translator to see, but I love tea. So some DMC and floss. I think she had a booth. She was one of the vendors at the cross-stitch retreat, and she had hand-dyed fabric, which I bought a piece I'll show in a minute with my haul, and threads too. So I think this may be one of her threads. And she had given us cards, but I didn't think to ask her if she had an Etsy shop or anything because the cards don't say. So those were another, I think there's a couple of more. And there were some people from the States other than myself. Two of the ladies that we met were from California, and then David, I don't have his last name. He has 2 Flosstube channels, and I'll link anybody that had a YouTube channel that I got their information. I'll link it below. But David, I know, has he does a channel in Spanish and then a channel in English, and I think it's his English one is the Red Thread Stitcher. And let's see, and then this is, I think this is his Spanish YouTube channel. But he came around and gave us a piece of linen, and it looks like hand-dyed thread, but there's no label on it. So I didn't think to ask him if he did these himself or where he got them. So that was another gift, and a little thread drop. So he gave us those. And then somebody else, there were, like I said, there were 3 other people from the States. And then there were some ladies from Chile and Colombia, was it? I can't remember. But let's see. I think, this is the gal that was from Colombia, and she sells items for cross stitch, if anybody's interested. And this is what she gave us, this little ornament-like thing. I'm going to have to find something to hang things on. So, and this cute little sticker. I have no idea what it says. I need to put it in the translator to see. Okay, 2 more. And then somebody came around and gave us a fan. And let's see. They were from, I guess they're from Monterey. This is what came with the fan. I guess I shouldn't. And the cute little pouch. I'm wondering if I'd say if she stitched all of them had this banding on it with the stitching. For you to a pouch for the fan. And the last one, fair warning, they'll be crinkling because I haven't taken this out yet. But look at that cute little biscornu. So cute. And then it's got wood burning on the other side that has the name of the retreat. And then it'll say the little, so now that I've shown it, I can take it out. So that was all of my gifts that I received at the retreat from the various attendees. Oh, forgot these. She was another YouTuber, and she gave us some floss drops. I'm assuming that's what these are for. So that was a lot of fun. So if I go back, I'm going to have to come up with some gifts. I say I've not been to a cross-stitch retreat before. Years ago, quilting was my main hobby, and I was in a quilt guild here in town, and off of that quilt guild was a stitch group, and we did retreats. But and then there was a group of friends of us, 3 or 4 of us, that started doing our own little retreats and would go twice a year. But that's probably been 10 years since I've gone to a quilt retreat. So it's been a number of years since I've done anything. So it was really nice to get, I was to say, very little stitching got done. I have to say, when I went to quilting retreats, I got more done than I got done last weekend at the cross stitch retreat. There was too much, because the other thing that was part of our retreat which was a lot of fun. Can't remember if it was before or after lunch. Anyway, Yanni had arranged a bus tour of the historic center of Morelia, so we went on a bus tour and stopped. We only made one stop, and that was at one of the churches, and then went and drove around downtown, the historic center of Morelia, which was a lot of fun. So between that and chatting and meals, there wasn't a whole lot of stitching getting done. Oh, and some of the other goodies that came around, let's say lots of crinkling, were people passed out snacks, and I managed, as I say, not to eat them all. But something that was different. These, in this little bag, was a lady at our table, and I didn't get her name. None of the ladies at our table spoke any English at all, so we didn't really get to visit with them as well as I would have liked. But I don't know if she made these or if she bought them. But on the last day, she handed me about 4 more of these bags. And I gave one to my dad. But these at the top are sweet. These red ones are kind of a medium. They got a little spice to them, and then the ones at the bottom are hot. But the inside, the chewy part, is, I think, all the same, and it's sweet. But the sweet and spicy together was really good. Really liked those. And then this is something else that came around, and I've eaten some of it, but it was dried mango with like hot chili spices on the outside. That sweet and hot is really good. I don't think I've had that before. And this has agave. No, what's the fruit? I've gone completely blank now. Anyway, there was another sweet, and I have absolutely no idea what this is. So, got some munchies for later. Let's see. I think I've shown everything, so we'll go into haul. Haha! There were vendors at the cross stitch retreat, so I ended up buying a few things. Janice had hand dyed. I showed her goodie bag that had the thread in it. This was a piece of her fabric, and I just love this color. It's gorgeous. It's a 32 count, and I don't think she has, there's no name on it. It just says Belfast. And I'm not sure, I have no idea what I'm going to stitch on it, but I just loved the color. Wish I'd bought more than one piece. Now that I've gotten home, I'm thinking, if you're familiar with the With a Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais patterns, the word play, I think I may do one of the word plays on one of this. I'm not positive, but I have about, let's see, October, February, March. No, not March, April. Is it just 3? 4? 4 of the word plays done? I thought there were more than that I had done. Gone completely blank. Anyway, I'm going to have to see if the colors, thread colors, or if I can make that work. I may do that. So I bought that. And then, I think, another one of the vendors there, all the vendors weren't just strictly cross stitch. There was a lady there that had more traditional like clothing with the cross stitch on it and the flowers and tablecloths. Anyway, she had this table runner that I fell in love with, and I don't know if it's crochet or tatting, but anyway, I fell in love with that. I thought it was gorgeous. So I'm going to put this, I have a buffet in my dining room. I may put it on there, or I may put it on the top of my piano. So that's what I'm going to do with that. But I've seen these kind of things before, but never with color. They're either always just white or ecru colored. So I loved it with the colored centers. Thought that was really, really pretty. And then the next thing that I bought from a vendor there at the show, she had all this crocheted items. This is for my granddaughter, but I'm going to have to hold on to it for a while until she's ready for it. But I just absolutely fell in love with this little doll. And see if she's got beads on there. And then her earrings. And I just can't get over the hair. The hair is just fantastic. So, I think she's just, and the eyelashes, the big eyelashes. So this is for Farah. And you say, even her shoes are crocheted. Just, so cute. And her legs and her arms have wire or something in them. But anyway, I'll have to find a safe place for this till Farah's old enough to get it. I texted a picture of it to my husband when I bought it to tell him I bought a gift for Farah. And so when I put it away somewhere, not to let me forget about it. We'll have to see. On our bus tour, the one stop that we made at the church across the street was a plaza, and there was a vendor there, and a lot of his stuff were kind of like wood. They looked like magnets. I didn't pick them up. But he also had all of these beaded birds, hummingbirds. Gorgeous. So I bought one, and my mom bought one. So I'm not quite sure. I've got to find a place. I think I'm going to have to redo some of my shelving to put some of these goodies on that I got at the retreat. And maybe the bird. But I need a good place to hang him up. Look at that. So it was so much fun. So much fun. So now down to, I think I've shown you everything I got in Mexico. Of course, I had to do the normal touristy thing when I got to Chapala, and bought some shirts and things for my kids. And I got little sandals and a little red Mexican dress for my granddaughter that hopefully I guessed correctly and she'll be able to wear it this spring, and the shoes. So crossing my fingers that I've guessed correctly on, because you have to buy something bigger and hope that it fits in time. So now for the rest of my haul that I did over the last 2.5 months. Let's see. I went to the Stitch Niche this morning. They're very limited on what. Mom hasn't ordered anything from the States to have mailed there because she's been told that the mail isn't necessarily reliable. So, like I said, I'm scattered. Sorry, today. I took a video of the brag table at the cross-stitch retreat, and so after I'm done yakking, I'll tag it on to the end so you can see beautiful, beautiful finishes that were brought to show off. And 2 of those finishes were the Newcastle Bouquet pattern by Teresa Kogut. And originally when my mom was here visiting back last May, she was looking through my things and she really liked that pattern. She thought about starting it and then changed her mind. But after seeing the 2 pieces there in Mexico, she's decided she wanted to start it. So my brother's going down there to see them next month. So I'm going to send him with the pattern for that. And I went to the Stitch Niche, which is my local shop. Went and got the threads for it and the fabric this morning. And I forgot where I was going with that. But, so of course I had to get, I was good. I'm trying not to buy too many things that aren't for my 50 and 50 starts next year. But, I did all right as far as this morning goes, but I did, there's a gal there that makes projects bags, and she just brought in project bags, and I couldn't resist buying this one. So they're having their DMC 310 sale on Friday after Thanksgiving, and I knew this wouldn't be here if I didn't buy it now. So but the Santa's different on each side. thought that loved. I've not seen this fabric before, so I don't know what fabric line it's from. And the inside's just kind of got a white on white, which you probably can't see. So I bought that this morning at the Stitch Niche. And then I already had this pattern. When it first came out, it's from Beth Twist of Heartstring Samplery. When I got it, it was a freebie. I think around December 2021. The 2021 is the year on it. But now it's sold, or it's a pattern that's for sale. And it was sitting on the shelf this morning at the Stitch Niche. So I don't know if you can read that. It says, "Love and joy come to you." So I went ahead and bought some thread and some white Lugana to stitch that on. So I don't know. I may start that here. Depends. I really need to focus on doing my granddaughter's ornament. So I don't know if it matters if I do these in order of when I bought them. Do you care? Probably not. Let's see. Let's see. And mind you, this has been 2.5 months. And excuse the crinkling. I think that's everything. I know I showed this book because I bought it in September. It came out in September, the new Teresa Kogut Halloween, and but I bought the book and then I went back some weeks later. I want to make these 2 cats, and it calls for, that's not it, hang on, sorry, 32 count Weeks Dye Works Tiger's Eye. But by the time I got back to the Stitch Niche, they had sold out of the 32 count and had 30 count, which I've never stitched on before, so my cats will be a little bit bigger. But I went back and bought the fabric to make enough to make both cats. And oh, I love this color. Oh, and I know there's a lot of people that complain about Weeks Dye Works fabric. Their lower counts are still in their original base, and I think it's only 36 and higher that they have a Zweigert base. But I like Weeks Dye Works. I like the softness of it, and I've never had a problem with the weave. But anyway, there's that Tiger's Eye to go with the Halloween. My plan's still in. I'll get to that. And then in October, the Fat Quarter Shop was having a sale on all of their NPI silks, which I have a list of things from. So I went in and bought a bunch of NPI silks for, I think I've got 3 projects that call for NPI silk. So now that I've shown it, I can divide it up and put it with the appropriate project. So that was a purchase. And I went into this, see, September. Anyway, I bought a few fall patterns. Let's see, put these kind of in order. I ended up getting Souvenirs of the Heart, Autumn and Amana, which, if I remember correctly, Michelle, she has a YouTube channel, Farm Girl. Can't remember. Anyway, this was a retreat piece that she does a retreat, and then it came out. It's been out for a while, but I got that. So I wanted some more fall smalls. This I don't think is necessarily designed as a fall piece, but it kind of makes me think of fall, and it's called On Coverlet Court by Scarlet House. I like that, so I bought that. And then this is called Halloween Acorns by the Blue Flower, but to me it doesn't really look Halloween. It just looks like the fall. She's got a series of these acorns in different seasons. I liked that, so I bought those. And then I went back sometime later. I saw this, but I didn't get it on the same day. But these are just too stinking cute for Halloween. It's Stingy, Jack, and Friends. Let's see if I can do this without the glare. Anyway, I thought those were too cute. So, into the pattern pile. This was in one of their sale bins. It's a Lizzie Kate, which If you're not familiar, Lizzie Kate has since retired, and you can only get her patterns through 123stitch.com. But the Stitch Niche has, stuff, old stock. This one's called How to Be a Mean Mother. So I thought I might stitch that for my daughter. And I'll read it to you. How to be a mean mother. Never allow treats instead of a real meal. Know where her kids are, who they're with. Make kids work. Laundry, dishes, and more chores. Insist on the truth. Produce sensible teens. What the world needs are more mean mothers and fathers too. So anyway, thought that was cute. Alright, then I say I'm in the Stacy Nash Pin Keep Drum Club from the store Country Sampler that's in excuse me, Spring Green, Wisconsin. So after my September video, I think it came the same day after I'd filmed that afternoon in the mail, the next one, which is called the Big Blue House Pin Keep, which is kind of a patriotic. I don't want to take it out of the plastic. And I say there's the fabric and ribbon and all the threads and fabric. So the next Pin Keep drum, and this one looks huge. I don't know what it says. It has a 7-inch diameter and 2 inches high, so that's a big one. So that came. Then I was on Instagram, which is the Horrible Enabler, and Michelle Farm Girl Dry Goods, I think is the name of her website and her Etsy shop. This was a new release from Plum Street, one of her animal stacks and cardinals, and you get two versions. There's a version, I don't know if there's the Redbird, the darker one, and then this one has got a lighter one. So I'm not sure if I've got the DMC to do both. I would assume so. So anyway, I saw that pop up on Instagram and went and bought it. So I don't know when I need to live to be 500 years old. Another one of my starts for next year is Liberty Hill Farm, which is a drum, and it uses sulky threads, which I've never used before, so this will be different. But I finally got the threads for that drum, and it's doesn't necessarily say it's for that project, but I know that's what I ordered. So anyway, I'll be starting that next summer. So it'll be interesting to see how they stitch with. That'll be different. Next, let's see. Keepsake. Is that a catalog? Anyway, they come out with a calendar every year. I've never ordered one before, and the mailman, of course, folded it in half, so it's got a crease in it. But so I thought I would order this year's or 2023's calendar. Got some really cute projects in there. I like the Santa, and there's a Barbara Anna design. Emma Congdon. Forgot how to say her name correctly. So anyway, you get the calendar, and then all the patterns come in a separate booklet, which I thought was great. Then you don't have to tear up your calendar or whatever, because they're all separate. And with that came a mini purse calendar, and then the cross stitch pattern for these pairs was in there. So that, and lastly, if you're familiar with Laura and Brenda, the Serial Starter, their YouTube channel, they showed this, I think, in September. Can't remember if it was September or October, but the Attic Needlework store in Arizona has a chart of sampler of the month, and they showed this one, and I had to buy it because it has my maternal grandmother's name on it. Mom, I know you're watching. I need your opinion. So it's Sarah Clark. So as I say, I had to buy this since it had my grandmother's name on it. And But my grandmother's name was Sarah, but she went by her middle name, which is Ruth. So my dilemma is whether to change it where it says Sarah Clark down here in the, you can't read that, but in that center section. I don't know if I want to put Sarah Clark or Sarah R. I say because she went by Ruth, which was her middle name. So Sarah Clark, S. Ruth Clark, or just put Ruth Clark. So Mom, if you have an opinion, what you think, how I should put her name in there, let me know. So, and I ordered the fabric from them as well, which is 32 count is what I ordered. There were other, and I originally ordered 32 count linen, and it's called for Affogato by Fiber on a Whim, but after I had ordered, they called back and they were out of the linen, so I ended up getting the Lugana. Sorry. So that's the color of the linen. Let's see. Take that out. So I think what I'm going to do, I could have ordered this silks from them, but I decided not to order the silks, and I'm just going to use the DMC conversion for it. That's the fabric for it. So I think I'm going to switch out another piece that I don't have fabric for in my 50 for 50 and put this in instead and start it. But I just need to decide how I want to do her name on there when I get to it. So completely forgot to talk to Mom about this when I was there with everything else going on. So I think I've covered everything. As I say, I'll probably finish this and wrap it up and then remember something that I forgot to say or show. Inevitably. So let's see. Of course, I don't know if that's my husband that's decided to mow the yard now that I'm doing the video. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, or the neighbor. Hopefully it's not making too much noise on the video. I'm going to stick in here at the end the video of the brag table from the retreat in Mexico. And then I don't know if I'll put in some pictures too. We'll have to see how the editing goes. But if you're in the States and you celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family this coming Thursday. And I keep trying to think if there's anything I've forgotten. I don't think I've forgotten anything. So I wish you well. God bless, and we'll see you in December. Bye.